Hey, this is JBAT, and today I will be doing a review for the official comic adaptation of Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which was an animated Batman film based on Batman the Animated Series. So the look and feel of the film was inspired by the series, and actually was adapted from the series during the time that the TV series was on, on television. So this will be my review for Batman Mask of the Phantasm, and this is JBAT. Hey, what's up? It's JBAT, and today I'll be doing a review for the comic adaptation of the film Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Here's the comic adaptation, as you can see. And as you can see, it's not really that large. Like the other comic adaptations, it's not really that large, So yeah, this will be my review for Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the official comic adaptation of the film, Now, just like the other previous comic adaptations, it's exactly like the film, like panel for panel, dialogue for dialogue, scene for scene, everything is exactly the same like it was in the film or whatever, because the film was originally released in 1993, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, because it was released on the Christmas weekend, if I'm not mistaken, because I went to see it. I remember going to see it at the theaters, when it was at the theaters at the time, So yeah, now this film was about a mass vigilante targeting mobsters, killing mobsters and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Then also a love interest from Bruce Wayne's past shows up back into his life or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And her name was Andrea Beaumont. So that's basically what the film was about, the mass vigilante and a love interest who returns into Bruce Wayne's life, after a long time, I think 10 years, I think. And the film, the comic is exactly like how the film was, you know what I'm saying? And various characters from out the comics or Batman show up, like Alfred, Gordon. I think Gordon, I don't know, I'm not mistaken. I think he shows up. I can't really recall. But I know Bullock shows up, and the Joker is also in it too. And plus another thing kind of cool about the Joker being in it, he was in the flashback scenes, where he didn't have no makeup on. He wasn't the Joker yet. He was just a common gangster. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now at the time, Batman Mask of the Phantasm was based on Batman the Animated Series, which was on television at the time, I think they were on their second season at the time. I know they started in '92, and the film came out in '93. So I'm saying it was still on while the Batman Animated Series was still actually running, you know what I'm saying? It was running on television, So yeah, now this right here, the only difference in it at times is Batman, he didn't use a bat grapple like he was doing in the movie the whole time, in the animated movie he was doing. He mostly used the bat rope, which he traditionally uses was the bat rope, that he swings. He didn't really use the grapple that much in here, And like I said, in the film version of this, you had Kevin Conroy as the voice of Batman from Batman the Animated Series. And then you had Mark Hamill as the Joker, Mark Hamill from Star Wars, He does the Joker or whatever in the film, And this is based exactly on the film adaptation, And at the time, the film was actually inspired by the animated series, like I mentioned before. So yeah, in the film, it tells a series of flashbacks, about Bruce and Andrea, and then at the same time you had this mass vigilante going around killing all the top mobsters and stuff, And I'm not gonna spoil it, I'm not gonna spoil it for people who never saw the film or even read this, And again, if you read this, you wouldn't even have to watch the film, Because this right here is the film I had. I never had it on Blu-ray, but this is the actual film that I have right here. I remember even going to see it at the theater, so they got Batman on the cover. Mask of the Phantasm. And yeah, it's exactly like it. If anything, Batman was using the bat rope in here a lot versus the bat grapple that he uses, he commonly uses lately. So that's basically about it. And another thing I want to touch on, I had this when I originally got the video cassette tape, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. and it came with the cassette. I can't remember even being on the plastic, saying that the comic book was in there. But when I opened it at the time, because it wasn't actually inside the case, they had it actually tucked into the sleeve of the cover, which is a video cassette tape at the time. Because at the time it wasn't even DVDs, you know. So I had this like over 20 years, you know. It wasn't, DVDs didn't even exist at the time when I had this, you know. So it was actually tucked away in the video cassette sleeve, like the cover sleeve of the cassette tape, you know, at the time. So I didn't find this till like years later. I was like messing with the case. I was like, whoa, there's a comic book here, and I had pulled it out, and it was like the official comic adaptation. So yeah, this is my review, and I would recommend this, you know, if you could find it. They probably made it larger than this too, I'm sure, you know. I would recommend reading it. It's exactly like the film, you know what I'm saying? So this is JBAT, and I thought this was good, and this is my review for Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Okay. Hey, what's up? This is JBAT, and as you can see, this is my Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the official comic adaptation. Now, I've had this comic adaptation ever since I had the original VHS cassette tape back in I think it was like '94 when it came to video cassette. So yeah, at the time this was like tucked away in the cover of the video cassette, you know. It was like tucked away in the sleeve of the cassette tape. So I didn't even know it was in there at the time. It was like a while before I found it. I think even like years later before I found that it was in there, you know, the comic adaptation. So yeah, this is like the look of it. And as you can see, it's like very small compared to like other official comic adaptations. See like the size of them. Like I'm comparing it, see how much larger it is. You know. Then I mean, this is much larger than that. So it's like much smaller than like other comic adaptations. So yeah, now it looked exactly like how the film was, you know, like the images in it, the panels, you know, and it's so small that it's kind of hard, you know, to flip through it. But I've had this since like 1994, I know, because it came packaged with the cassette tape at the time. You can see these like images from it, you know, and it's exactly like the film, you know, exactly like it, you know. The panel for panel, you know, scene for scene, the dialogue, you know. There's certain differences in it, you know, but it's exactly like it, you know. And I noticed in this comic adaptation, Batman mostly used the bat rope and not the grapple. As you can see up there, the bat rope he's throwing. Now this was written by Kelly Puckett, penciled by Mike Parvelbeck, and inked by Rick Burchett. And the coloring was done by Rick Taylor, and the lettering by Tim Harkins. Okay. So yeah, this is my review for Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And this is JBAT. Alright. In the end, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, the official comic adaptation, was very well made, you know. It looks exactly like, you know, the way the film did, like panel for panel, even like the dialogue, you know. If anything, there were certain things that were different, you know, like Batman mostly used a bat rope versus a bat grapple, you know. But other than that, if you read this comic adaptation, you wouldn't even need to see the film, you know, just like the other comic adaptations. But I would recommend reading Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And this is JBAT.